We've finally seen some giant green candles because somebody came back from the fog. They emerged from the smoke, and this one man has single-handedly lifted the entire market. You may be seeing it with the GameStop stock. You might be seeing it with some cryptos as well. We're also looking at another stock involving some movie theaters, and that one man, he's just armed with one item. He's only armed with a bandana, and this man is single-handedly pumping everything. That man, of course, is John Rambo, everybody. John Rambo pumping the market, everybody. That is right. This one man with the bandana. No, that is not who we're talking about. We are talking about Roaring Kitty.
Motherfucking Kitty.
Keith Gill is his name. He's also known as Roaring Kitty. Some of you may be wondering, who is Keith Gill, known as Roaring Kitty? And how did this man, returning after a 3-year hiatus, why is this pumping the markets, everyone? Well, let me go ahead and make sure we have our sound that is looking good here. Where I'm going to play the trailer to Dumb Money, which explains everything. This is on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken.
While this happens, though, really quick, chat, I'm very curious. How many of you hold GME? I want to see all the OGs and how many hold GME. I have someone next to us that I think holds GME as well.
Whoa.
You're
Special
in GME?
guest?
I'm not in
No?
GME. I'm not in
I thought he had a
GME.
million shares or something.
No.
I thought we had it in the beginning. It sounded good. All right, everybody. Yeah, I thought it was. Well, that is the guy right there. Roaring Kitty is his name.
Chat, where are you at today? Get lively. Smash those like buttons. Type those ones in the chat. You guys got to be on it with us, man. Can't hear the clip. Wow, we just sat here in silence.
Yeah, it's a silent movie from the 20s. Wait a minute, 2020s, though. It's the story of the GME craze from 2020, best movie that they've seen in a while. I believe it is on Netflix if you want to watch this movie. Power of the collectivism. It shows the power of the people. It shows that we have the power. We outnumber the elites. We even outnumber the elites, not only in numbers, but we outnumber them in dollars as well. And you can see what's happening. Let's break it down with this. GameStop is surging, everybody. If we look at the chart right now, let's go to the 10-minute chart. It just teleported. That thing teleported. This is a stock. This was a pre-market. Insane jump right there.
It just shows that the Wall Street guys are playing in the meme coin industry. That's what it is. It's all a shit show.
Up 200%. We're up 200%, mind you, in the last month.
Fundamentals.
It's outpacing Bitcoin.
Yeah, this thing has just gone on a run. You can almost show me the charts. I'll show you the news here. You can see it actually started turning bullish, did a little bit of a retest of, I believe this is the 50 EMA here on the 10-minute, and then just nice bounce. But what is going on? GameStop's surging pre-market as Keith Gill returns to X after 3 years, also known as Roaring Kitty. His reemergence coincided with the surge in the stock price here. He's an enigmatic figure. He was running a Reddit account that was the center of the GameStop short squeeze in 2021. Watch that movie. It does a really good explanation of everything that happened in that year. And he's made a return after a 3-year hiatus. This is the tweet that has the hedge fund billionaires shaking. They're shaking on their golden throne right now. Just a simple sit-up tweet. He is now paying attention. His reappearances coincided with the surge of the stock price. Following his reemergence, it was at one point 20%, then 50%, 69%, up 100%. Stock was trading at $17, down 3% from the previous day. In 2021, January, the center of a remarkable short squeeze that captured the world's attention. At the time, 140% of the company's public float was sold short, setting the stage for an unprecedented surge in stock prices as the short sellers scrambled to cover their positions. The return has reignited interest in meme stock phenomenon, as well as the meme coin phenomenon, and raised questions about the potential for another wave of retail-driven market disruption. Well, let's look at the markets. First, Crypto Blood. What did you participate in the stock craze of 2021? I bought a little AMC, but that's all I did.
No, I left the stock market. It's worse than the crypto market.
Did you, were you along the ride for, was it Dogecoin? Dogecoin had a good, pump. It pumped with those things because there's all the things that are pumping on Robinhood, basically.
Right. Yeah, of course. So if you add that in there, for sure. I was part of that. But, here's my thing with the whole stock market versus crypto market. At least in the crypto market, there are no circuit breakers. We can see real price discovery and not have as much manipulation. So this thing would have been up even more if we didn't have circuit breakers.
Oh, yeah. The GameStop stock had been halted at least once, maybe even twice at this point, everybody. Let's see here.
Can we get the, just for on the back end, guys, I think we have some circuit breakers down ourselves because Crypto Blood is popping up blank here. But there is a man behind the mic. I promise you guys. You'll be here in just a moment. They're like, who is this voice?
It's a black person, guys.
Whoa, man, that's
the voice of reasoning. Yeah.
Our technical director. I didn't know BJ.
Come
man.
on,
That's
BJ,
up,
man. Get it together, brother. Get it together.
Well, let's look at the crypto market because everything is starting to surge. Everybody, Bitcoin is now up 3%. If you're wondering, did DZ open a trade? Yes, we opened a trade, just a small one. We're up a few $100 right now. I jumped into this last night. Looked like a little bit of bullish divergence was popping off in the charts. Jumped in. Oh, remember, I think maybe around here. And now looking good, but now it seems like Bitcoin has found its little level of support, trading sideways. We have Ethereum. It is only up 1%, still below $3,000. Solana up 1.6%. What is Dogecoin doing, though? Look at Doge. Doge is piggybacking off the Roaring Kitty tweet. If I had to give any kind of analysis of why this thing is moving so hard, Doge is now up 7%. Makes me feel like ETC could be a good trade, everybody. Shiba Inu is up 6.7%. We've seen really, really good action from the meme coins. I know Pepe was one of the biggest gainers here. And Chainlink just looking flat. I actually DCA'd into a little bit of Chainlink there. You can see now just still around $13. What is the biggest gainer? It is Pepe, followed by Floki, then followed by Dogecoin. So we got meme coin.
Gotta get on it, man. Gotta get on it, Josh.
I'm getting on it.
Gotta get on it.
In fact,
get on it.
Yeah, we're getting on.
All right, chat, Josh. If you had to buy one of these meme coins, and again, you can't touch it for 12 months. Are you buying Pepe, Floki, Doge, or Shiba?
Ooh, why just those four?
Because these are the top four. Let's keep it tight here.
Shiba.
All right, you know what? We'll
definitely
throw in
obviously
Bonk.
some Dogecoin. You have to go with Dogecoin because that is the GME of meme coins in the crypto space. But then I'd probably go with Pepe after that, to be honest. Yeah.
All right. Well, I gave my followers the alpha here. Everybody, if we go, I might have to hit refresh. Folks, make sure you go watch our Solana video from the weekend. Really, really good video that we worked hard on. But I put this out. Doge is the answer. I told my my subscribers, hey, you need to buy this one before it rips. And if you look at the 1 hour gainers, Doge is the biggest gainer. So, folks, I'm trying to give you the alpha. We're trying to give you the alpha here. And I'm going to give you the next alpha. I really feel like ETC is a buy. Now, Blood, I know we're not big fans of what ETH Classic. Maybe I like its decentralized nature.
Right.
I like that it stood up against censorship.
Sure.
We're not going to roll back transactions.
Right.
That's kind of the genesis of ETH Classic here. With the GameStop crowd, with Roaring Kitty, with Dogecoin, can the Robinhood crowd pump ETH Classic? Is ETH Classic maybe a good buy right now?
I don't think so.
All right, that's a no.
That's a nothing burger.
Yeah, if you're still on the ETH Classic train, that means you just support Robinhood. We don't support Robinhood in this house. That's
like a person still trying to buy XRP, right?
Yeah,
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah. Hoping and praying, but I mean that keeps your money stable, I guess.
All right. Well, I think ETH Classic is going to pump. CMG watched the movie. That video was sick AF, bro. Appreciate everybody who watched it. Doge is the OG. Someone's buying all the meme coins here. Let's see here. We're going to get Bart Simpson. A lot of people are saying we see a Bart Simpson chart pattern starting to form. Yeah, well, let's
prices are up today, dude. Feels good.
All right, let's pull up Bitcoin. Let me hit refresh here. Make sure I got head to the homepage. We're gonna make sure we have BTC on Binance. Let's go to crypto only here. Type in BTC.
No, not Binance.
You know what?
Binance.
Bitcoin. I do the Bitcoin tether on Binance just because it's easy to find. I also like the Bitstamp because it goes back longer.
Binance off the reference rate. Bitcoin. Oh, the spot ETF.
It's more of a length issue. Okay. So and honestly, you try to find it's not girth. It's the length issue here.
I think it's average.
All right. Well, let's look at this descending wedge. We pointed this out. We said maybe going to come back, test the bottom of this. This is today. This is Sunday. This is Saturday. Came down, tested on it Friday. Started to bounce off of it. We go to the 3-day chart. Now, Blood, are you feeling bullish? Are you feeling bearish for a breakout here for Bitcoin? Because a lot of people, they're looking at the length of this run up and they're saying it's going to go up that high. That puts Bitcoin in the 80K range. Can a Bitcoin go into the 80s?
I think June is going to be a good month for Bitcoin. June, July.
Okay.
Historically, look at after the halvings, that period, 60 to 90 days. We should start to see up. It's happened almost every time. So I'm very bullish. This point, Bitcoin, this is a great buying opportunity.
All right. And looking at the 10-minute chart, we're seeing quite a strong pullback on GME here. It looks like rejecting. Whoa, I honestly did not know it went to this level. I was looking at the charts, everybody, and I was actually because I saw this and I thought it was around $30. I didn't realize it wicked up that high. $40, this $39 to $40 range is very, very important for GameStop. If you can't help yourself, you have to buy some GameStop stonk. If we look here, this is the previous run up. I might have to go back a ways. Yeah, this is the first run up here for GameStop. And you see it did a nice little teleport. Look at that. Okay, nice green candle. Boom, teleported all the way up to the $80 range. But look at some of these candle bodies.
But see, gap ups always fill.
Yeah, where it wicks, it will stick. Oh, fill down.
Yes,
but not upside.
Yeah, they will. But I'm saying like that's a gap up, right? It fills the gap coming back down. So it's going to fill the gap at some point. Yeah. And then test and make sure that there are really buyers at those levels. So you will see a fill of that gap coming down on the up today.
All right, and it seems like I can see why a lot of people shorting or started selling around $40. You can see it wicked right there to $40 right there. Candle body right there, $42. Wick here, $40. Wick $40. A lot of action around this $40 range here. So just be wary. But that being said, it can run past $40. It can teleport to 80, 90, 100 and change. As I think it went even higher for a brief period when they shut it down and prevented you from buying GameStop. And I've heard people have been getting shut down right now.
It's been shut down multiple times.
Yeah,
they've been freezing it's been 8 times now. 8 times they've halted the trade for GME. It's already pissing off hedge funds, man. It's instant. And what's crazy is all he did was post a tweet. Imagine having that much power. Dude is the Jerome Powell of meme stocks.
Again, this just illustrates that the stock market is worse. Is the worst, most rigged market ever.
Yeah, it is definitely rigged for the
I'm sorry.
Rigged for the Wall Street whales.
Wall Street never.
Yeah, rigged for the people in the suits here. Number of brokerages have halted trading on GME currently. Not only that, right before we went live, E-Trade has been taken down. I think this is more a bandwidth issue. I don't think it was them trying to stop you from buying GameStop. Right. I think they maybe just had too many people opening the app. E-Trade is like more than 7 people are using the app at once. Oh my God, we're crashing here.
It was it actually triggered the circuit breaker on NASDAQ.
Okay, so and it did trigger the circuit breaker as well.
Volatility circuit breaker got tripped.
All right, so
Dumb Money 2.0 is going to be wild.
Oh yeah, do we smell a sequel?
Oh, there'll be a sequel for sure. Yeah, there's going to definitely be a sequel.
I love it. Here we have, let's see. I wanted to look at a couple things. We got some Bitcoin news as well, Bitcoin movements. We are early. This is the number of people with $1,000 worth of Bitcoin here or more. 0.4% of the population there. So does that feel accurate to you guys? Does it feel like a 0.5% has $1,000 in Bitcoin? Would you say higher, lower?
0.5% have $1,000 in Bitcoin. That sounds about right. Is that average though?
Or more?
No, I would say it's like 0.5%. Dude, we're so early. I would say we're at 0.5%. Most of the money in the market right now is
this is probably accurate.
Yeah.
Chat, does this feel accurate to you, Nick?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Let me ask this.
The more I started thinking about it,
people in the crypto
right.
space, do you know people outside the crypto space that have $1,000 in Bitcoin? That are just like, they just have $1,000?
Not really. Not 1,000.
When you say outside the crypto space, you mean people that don't follow the news? Yeah, my uncle, I convinced him to buy some. I think he bought some when it went to 20 or 30.
But did he buy $1,000 though? Does he have 1,000 or more?
He bought at least 1,000.
Oh, you got a rich uncle.
I was like, I think my parents, they have probably that much Bitcoin. But like, yeah, I mean, past that, no, it's like I wouldn't just go to Walmart and be like, "Do you have $1,000 in Bitcoin?" And like, if you ask,
they don't have $1,000 in fiat.
Yeah, true.
No, seriously.
I didn't even. Yeah,
you know
I mean, that's valid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I'm overdrawn $1,000. You're like, oh,
yeah. Then we got other countries. You got India. You know where the stats going to look like in India, where the stats going to look like in China, Russia.
So is this chart for global population or just U.S.?
So it's very, very short on details. This is from Fred Krueger. This is Eddie's brother. So you got Ed and you got Fred. And this is I'm assuming the rest means the rest of the globe. Maybe
we can even solve this right here. Chat. Type 1 in chat because I'm actually curious. These are all crypto holders, right? Like, do you even hold Bitcoin? Type 1 in chat if you hold $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? Type 2 if you don't, because I know probably 70% of you don't even hold Bitcoin. Because they're in altcoins. They're like,
this guy has 1,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Not $1,000 worth of Bitcoin.
Don't expose my wallet. It did just wake up for the first time in 10 years.
Oh, but it was a meme coin on Solana, and they're like 7 zeros after the decimal point. But hey, it is called Bitcoin, so that kind of counts, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's 21 quadrillion, not 21 million.
Obama
though.
Sonic NU.
Yeah. All right. A lot of ones, a couple twos. Hey, how are we doing? We got the cameraman extraordinaire in the back, but we're not going to say who he is. You get worked up in the chat here, folks. Bitcoin, it's who you think it is. Bitcoin on-chain activity is hitting historic lows, is the bottom in everybody. Bitcoin has struggled to regain its footing, prompting questions amongst investors about the possibility of a bottom. Despite the rejection around 56K last week, optimism was short-lived on the on-chain activity, plunged to historic lows. Josh, could you pull up the fear and greed and see where we're at? What is this little bit of a bounce? If anything, we might get a nice surge in the fear and greed into the greed territory over the next 24 hours as the man with the bandana, that's right, John Rambo, has just got everybody feeling bullish again. I don't know.
Bandana.
Sand.
I went ahead and pulled it up. So actually, Chad, if you don't even know this, our new product just launched. It's called FOMO Mode. It is the best fear and greed index tool on the market. We have 4-hour, hourly, 15-minute, and it's for all your favorite altcoins. And unlike every other fear and greed index out there, guys, we are looking at something that has a different perspective and different data on each thing. So if you look at Bitcoin compared to Ethereum, more than likely they are going to be different in terms of where that greed is at in the market. You can still see, well, that's a 4-hour. Let's click on the 4-hour now. Boom. There you go. 49 still on the 4-hour. So you'll see that you can actually look at this in real time almost on the data points for the market. So Bitcoin currently sitting at, let's go back to the 24-hour here, is going to be 38. Wow, that's crazy. 57 on the daily here, DZ.
All right, so we're creeping into the green now.
We are creeping into the green, yes.
All right. Like Snoop Dogg at a party.
Like 60,000. I mean, we've been saying it here, right? 56,000 to 60,000. Like, guys, everybody was max fear. They're all starting to capitulate out of the market because we were trading sideways for 63 days. This is, by the way, chat, the longest retracement we've had this entire bull market. So you'll notice that people started capitulating because they were bored.
Yeah.
They were like, when's market do something? You know, that poking meme stick?
Well, funny that you mentioned this is the longest retrace in the cycle, everybody. I have from Rect Capital, Rect Fencer and Rect Capital, both very good accounts I would recommend following. If 56 was not the bottom, then this current pullback will officially equal the longest retrace in this cycle at 63 days. However, history is now suggesting that this current pullback ended at 56K and 47 days. So the run-up has now commenced. They're saying, this little wick to the bottom, is the bottom, and, maybe we can expect a lot more bullish action. And if you look, we kind of just match what we've been seeing in the past. 20% pullback, give or take 1 or 2 percentage points. 20%, 20%, 20%, 20%, another 20% is the bounce.
Another thing you got to remember, like every new high for Bitcoin has always been in the fourth quarter of the year. I don't know if you guys knew that. So it's
actually I didn't. That's interesting.
So it's a timing thing in my opinion. So you have the elections coming up. They're going to pump the markets on the traditional side, TradFi. So I just think timing wise, there's a very small window for us to move up. And I think we're heading into that window from June until the end of the year, maybe bleed into the new year. But yeah, I think it's bullish.
All right. Speaking of bullish, we're looking at the Fed economic data. This is Federal Reserve Bank from St. Louis. We're looking at their information here. And this is going to be the money year over year. This is the percentage of money from the M2 money supply. So this is money supply compared to a year ago, because we know that money is heading in the same direction. But when you look at the money that's being injected, sometimes they inject less money than they did 12 months ago. You can see they started to slow down the spigot of cash, started to slow it down. And then you see right around October 30th, that's when we started to see a little bit of a turnaround. And now we're seeing the money supply head in the right direction. If we zoom out, the little blip is now starting to turn bullish. This is the money printer machine. The money printer machine just went out of control. It ran amok. They started to pull back, and now, hey, some are saying it's related to the elections. Some are just saying, that was just the natural bottom. But the money printers have been turned back on. What do you think this does to the markets?
Give them the news really quick.
Give them the news.
So while GameStop might be up 200% on the stock market, GameStop on Solana is up 1,400%.
There we go. Round of applause. That's what I'm talking about.
And
baby.
it is just the chart doesn't even work. The chart's like, how do I do? Look at this from February 20. Who launched this? That's kind of genius.
That's kind of genius.
Can we look at there's a
That's kinda
Roaring
genius.
Kitty meme coin too as
Roaring
well.
Kitty
There's a
too?
Roaring Kitty meme coin that launched in the past. I don't, didn't launch today or yesterday with this tweet. This one is an older one, has a little bit of a liquidity pool behind it. Let's look at the chart there.
See what I mean?
12,134%.
There's a lucky trader
How
who
about-
spent, I think, 38 Solana on it before this, and he's like now a millionaire or something like that.
Mrs. Roaring Kitty has not launched yet. Just saying, chat. Look,
Let me just say, we got 150 likes. We got to get more, guys. Come on. Let's get
smash that like button.
Yeah,
Appreciate
smash
it.
Yeah, we got to get that up. Let's get these numbers up. Let's see here. Whale alert. Whale alert. We got a 10-year inactive Bitcoin wallet starting to move some Bitcoin here. Move 1,000 Bitcoin. The stash, $60 million. They had been inactive for almost 11 years. What was the stash worth back then? $125,000. So they held this stash from 125K to $1 million, to $5 million, to $10 million, to $50 million, and then held it all the way up to today when it was worth $60 million. And so very, very patient. But then you got to ask yourself, is this that person's only wallet? I would say highly unlikely. They probably have a whole bunch of 500 Bitcoin wallets. They probably sold some at 20K, probably sold some at 40K. This is just the one that we know about here. Now, we're talking about Bitcoin halving here. Bitcoin is traditionally very, very bullish after the halving. Bitcoin 1 year after the halving. The halving happened, remember, right around 420. 2012, 8,000% increase. 2016, 285. 2020, 548% increase. 2024 halving, if we were only to hit 200%. We got 195K Bitcoin. If we only hit 300, 260 to 325 to 390K. Do you folks feel comfortable? How much do we pump a year after the halving? Is it 195K or is it less than that?
I want to get Bled's thoughts first, but I also want chats, guys. Give us your 2025 Bitcoin price prediction. Because if they follow me on X, they would have seen mine. I actually just dropped the video too. But Bled, where are you currently sitting?
Yeah, 420, 2025. What are we looking at here?
420.
2025.
420. Gotcha. I would say I would go with the 260. Range.
All right, you like a cool quarter million.
But let me say this though, like you see, like from 2012, 8,800%, right? 2016, it came down significantly. I think 2020 would have been lower than where it was if we didn't have that stimulus. The stimulus kind of gave us a little. You get what I'm saying there? So I think there's an artificial.
That makes a lot of sense. Do you think it'd follow that same? I mean, that would be a huge shrinkage,
maybe not,
like
50%
pump, 100%?
Not linear, like coming down,
linear
but
shrinkage.
right. But I think it would not have been 500 and something in 2020.
Okay. Linear shrinkage. That's why the doctor's office is always so cold. All right. Now we also had a huge Bitcoin conference in Asia. This is the largest Asian Bitcoin conference we've ever had. It's called what was this? Bitcoin Conference Asia. And this is in Hong Kong this week.
Couldn't be any more creative.
Set a record. What about Bitcoin
My
Nashville?
favorite part about this is like the first headline I read on it this morning was like, half of the attendees at Hong Kong conference were Chinese. I was like, no shit. It's in China.
Exactly.
I'm like,
Couldn't be any
bullish.
Bullish. Are we really like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel just to find something that's bullish?
Depending on who you ask, they're all Chinese if you ask the CCP.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
Whoa.
The SEC, you mean?
What are you talking about? There's Taiwanese semiconductor employees there. No. All right. El Salvador now has its own mempool space where anyone can check out their treasury holdings. So they got their own little dashboard, basically just making it real easy for everyone to see. If you didn't know, they have a DCA strategy, 1 Bitcoin a day. If you're wondering there. Say what?
That's baller.
That is pretty cool. I like that. I wish our government would do something similar there. If I was a mayor or like a state treasurer, I would 100% be doing that. In fact, I think they should. I know they tried to in like Wyoming and stuff, and there's a lot of pushback. But I mean, why don't we just go rogue and just do it? Right? Don't they have like rogue governors spending billions of dollars on a high-speed rail that literally goes to nowhere? I don't know if you guys saw that high-speed rail in California.
Oh yeah,
went to a field. It went nowhere. So why couldn't you do, you know what? That's a big waste of money. Well, at least we could buy something.
There's a high-speed rail in California?
Yeah, they finished, what was it, 1.8 miles? Something like that.
Wow.
So they could take a victory lap or a victory line. I guess it doesn't even make a lap.
4,000 miles that needs to be done, won't be done or completed.
Not 4,000, but yeah,
miles,
hundreds upon hundreds of miles. Yeah, you should maybe pull it up while I read this. Yeah, just put rail to nowhere in California or California rail. It'll pop up. It literally looks like it ends with scarecrows, like it's a farm or something. It doesn't make much sense. All right, let's talk about.
This is from years ago.
No, they just did one. They just did the ribbon cutting ceremony a week ago on another one. Yeah, there's probably grifts left and right in that state. Speaking of grifts, how's Michigan treating you, Blood?
Michigan is treating me well.
Yeah, do you got clean water?
We have clean water.
Okay.
Flint does not have clean water.
Now, you weren't part of the Whitmore plot, right? You didn't join the Whitmore plot?
What's the Whitmore?
Governor Whitmore?
Whitmer.
Whitmer.
What is? Oh, you talking about trying to? No,
you didn't join that. Drew didn't convince you to join. Okay, that's great.
I didn't even know what you're talking about, DZ. I have no clue what you're talking about.
This is the ugliest eyesore I've ever seen in my life.
All right, so we got it. This is
poor house right here.
That's the new one.
This house just depreciated in value by 50% because they're like, hey, by the way, your government property right in front. We're putting a high speed railed in. They're like, no way, there's gonna be a train.
Domain. They just.
I forgot what they spent on that. It was 1.8 billion or billions,
wow.
8 billion, something like that. They spent a lot of money.
This little thing.
But that guy in that house, he can now go to Sam's Club pretty quickly.
Yeah, 1,600 feet of high-speed rail after 9 years and $11 billion. It takes about 5 minutes to walk 1,600 feet. So a high-speed rail for this is a really big deal.
$11 billion.
While China builds one in 2 days and it goes around the globe.
Goes underwater.
They go underwater.
I was watching space, I had some family in town. He's a normie. It's my old stepdad here, and we watch a little bar rescue. I used to work in the bar industry. It's a little bit of an entertaining show, like a reality show. And he said, "There's no way they could refurbish this bar in a weekend. There's no way he did all that in a day or two." I said, "Todd, they can build a hospital in 5 days in China." He said, What are you talking about? He had no idea, in other parts of the countries, how we built the Empire State Building in a year, they are still doing that in other parts of the world.
Yeah, how did people forget
do workers
that happened?
die?
They just forget that happened. The Empire State Building was built in, it was a year. And there was a lot of people that died, to be fair. But
there's definitely too many eggs. Now. Maybe too many eggs broke to make that omelet. But I think there's a happy medium where you're not spending $11 billion doing nothing. And then where you have, people falling from 100 stories. We don't want that, but we don't want to waste $11 billion. There has to be some sort of medium here, folks. All right, JP Morgan, also known as Epstein's banker, invests in Bitcoin ETFs and crypto ATM provider, revealing SEC filing. What's funny from this is just how often Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, says how much of a fraud Bitcoin is. Meanwhile, they're investing in Bitcoin infrastructure. So it's like they're saying gold's fake, but they're selling people. They're setting up shovel shops and Levi Strauss stores everywhere. U.S. economic data this week. We're going to have a very, very big week. Is this why Roaring Kitty roared back, everybody? Does he know is he looking in the charts with his special autistic powers and knowing that something bullish is going to come out of one of these? We have PPI inflation, CPI inflation, retail sales, Fed manufacturing index, jobless claims, another Fed manufacturing index, building permits, housing starts, and industrial production on Thursday. So very, very tumultuous 3-day period, Tuesday to Thursday.
And for chat, the one you really want to just pay attention to is going to be the CPI. Everybody knows housing struggling, building permits. I mean, what's really going to move these markets this week is CPI, and people worried that Jerome Powell is going to raise interest rates one more time. And I honestly think it's going to be paused for longer. I think banks are coming in at way higher expectations, so that way it looks better when they goes, oh, it's actually not as worse as we expected. We can pause for longer. I don't know if you have thoughts on that, but I'm kind of like we're going to just pause interest rates for a disgusting amount of time.
Yeah, they're in a quandary. They're in a pickle. Okay, they got a problem because if they lower, it's going to cause inflation to head higher. If they increase rates, it's going to slow the economy down. So I think the stagflation is something they don't like.
No.
Okay, so I don't know what they're going to do. Actually, I do. I don't think they're going to lower rates.
I don't think so.
They're
okay.
Because I think there's one more window, right? Is there two more?
There's a few. Well, there's a few more until the end of the year, but I think there's one.
But you got elections, and you don't, want to seem. You want to stay apolitical. So there are only a few more opportunities to do this, and I don't think they're going to do it.
All right.
I don't think they could afford to either. But you know what we can afford to do is make sure you guys are secure with not only your hardware wallets, but of course your VPN, guys. You want to protect your guys' selves as much as possible. If you do not have a VPN, you're absolutely wild, especially if you're in crypto, because that means I know for a fact you're connecting to Wi-Fi at Starbucks and the airport with no security. So seriously, for the love of God, get a VPN, guys. You can use the description, the link in the bio below before NordVPN, before you get absolutely scammed and they steal all of your Roaring Kitty from your Solana network.
All your coochie.
On your MetaMask, guys. But that reminds me as well, guys, shout out to today's sponsor of this episode and every episode, our sponsors, our hardware wallet, Arculus, by far one of the greatest hardware wallets on the entire interweb. If you're somebody that's tweeting about it because it's maybe a scam to you, well, you're just an actual idiot, because this is backed by a publicly traded company and has literally developed all the tech and billions of credit cards across the world. It cannot get more secure, unlike backdoor ledgers out there that create things that really scare us in our assets on those ledgers. So just saying, that's where I'm going to put it out here today. That's where I'm out here. One tap security.
I like Arculus.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's good.
Like, real talk.
The guy invented the chip. So, I mean, that's pretty bullish right there. There's only one way to avoid total ruination. That's not lose all your crypto. So secure it safely, folks. We had another question from chat. How high can GME go? Well, folks, like I said, watch for that pullback around $40. If we go to the one-day chart, you can see there was a little bit of a pullback there. But if we go to the 5-year, you can see that thing wicked up to $80. It actually went above 100.
Went up to 100.
I expect a lot of resistance around 40, and it looks like a lot of resistance around 60. But do not underestimate the power of the people, the will of the people. We can ruin the shorters, and we can ruin these hedge funds that are betting against GameStop. But am I bullish on GameStop like as a company? No. Mall traffic is down. People download their games, and who the hell wants to turn in a Xbox 360 for $4? It just doesn't happen. Cause and effect. We're talking about the Fed money supply. We're talking about all the Fed announcement that they're going to have this week. Cause and effect, money supply went up 25%. The dollar is now worth 25% less. Makes a lot of sense when you start to think about it, folks. It's almost like if you have that island with seashells and they transact in it buying coconuts, and you double the amount of seashells, wouldn't it make sense that the value would be cut in half, that every price would double? Hey, what do you know? Cause and effect there, folks. It's always frustrating when people blame one thing on inflation and it's not money printer going nuts. It's McDonald's fault that the Big Mac's expensive. Like, I don't know who's really at fault if it's not the government. But speaking of McDonald's, what the hell, Blood? Have you seen this?
No. What's going on here?
This is inflation is now hitting your patty. So not only is it costing a lot more, I don't know. This is Biden shrinkflation in action. You can see through the patty, the pickle. The pickle is thicker than the patty. The pickles.
Not McDonald's.
Do we have sound?
Yes.
McDonald's. However you want to say this shit, y'all be shaming yourself.
I don't know what that's
Got a
from.
Big Mac, right? I was like, damn. This
Dane
shit
Cook.
thin. Look at this patty.
Oh.
Y'all, it's so thin.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
McDonald's. You
can see through
this
it.
motherfucker.
I didn't know she cussed there. I didn't listen to it with
It's
sound.
damn near $10 meal.
You already
and
played
give
the
me
dumb
this
money
thick.
trailer. We're good.
Can you see how thin it is? Matter of fact, let's see how thin it is to the pickle. The pickle thicker than the patty. Come
Wow.
on now, McDonald's. Y'all know better than me.
Yikes.
Oh, man.
man.
That
Hey,
seems confirmed,
you ought to
folks.
be.
That seems,
yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah,
really difficult to fake. That's just, it seems a lot more likely that is
That's
a
She
real.
took like a really
That's
thin
real.
knife right before it. I was like, you know what? Here we go.
A Damascus knife.
Oh, man, the chemicals they're using to spray your burger are costing more than the actual meat in it.
Yeah, I haven't had McDonald's in maybe 15 years.
So I haven't had McDonald's in probably 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
Why did you stop eating McDonald's?
I just stopped eating fast food, man.
Okay, so it's just a blanket ban on
I became
fast
rich
food.
in crypto, so I can eat steaks every night.
That's why we have those trades open on Blofin. Got to move that stop loss up. Now, what about Taco Bell or,
Nope, I don't eat any
no
of
Taco
that
Bell?
stuff, man.
Chick-fil-A.
Nah, I don't.
Popeyes?
I don't eat chicken.
You don't eat chicken?
Blood doesn't. Yeah, you
don't
got a
eat
black
chicken?
person that doesn't eat chicken, ladies and
Bro.
gentlemen.
Behave
We
yourself.
gotta end the
allergic,
show now.
or-
We got to end the show.
We
now.
got to end the show
You just
now.
don't like chicken, or
Man, have you seen? We're gonna go off on a tangent here. Have
I'm
you
ready for
seen
this.
What the Hell?
Chat's here for it.
What the Hell? Have you seen that documentary?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Nick. You know
So it's what about a free range? Would that make you feel different?
a little bit. I would do it. I've eaten a free range.
Gotcha.
Like 2 years ago, I did eat some free range.
Wait, so do you eat cow? Yeah, beef.
I do.
You do,
but not. But you got to check out what the health, because chicken, ladies and gentlemen, is the worst.
It's
all right,
worse
like
than
Talon said, which is ironic.
Second, right?
Talon is a tool of a predator. Recently turned vegan. It will never go back. Plant-based is the way.
It is. I was pescatarian for maybe about 6-7 years, but when COVID hit, I couldn't keep it up.
Yeah, I mean, we are omnivores at the end of the day, or as Hotep Jesus would say, we're necrophores because we've evolved to eat dead flesh.
Luckily, then at McDonald's you can, because there's not real meat in there, right?
Oh, there you go.
It's taste now.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, we've all seen what happened to the Big Mac prices there, the Big Mac index. You know how basically a Big Mac shrink. Not only is it shrinking, not only is the patty skinnier than the pickles, now the price is going up and up and up and up. But there used to be a better way. Our currency used to be tied to a hard asset. That hard asset was gold. Well, what do you think is happening with gold at the moment, folks?
I love gold.
Well, so do the world gold reserves, because now they have reached a new record. Has reached 1,170 million fine troy ounces. This is the most since the 70s. So we're at about a 50-year high. What happened in the 70s, folks? I wonder what happened in the 70s. Anyways, over the last 13 years, world central banks' gold holdings are up roughly 21%. Very, very bullish there. Global gold reserves are now even higher than just before Nixon broke the U.S. dollar's link to gold in 1971. In 22 and 23 alone, world central banks brought 1,081 and 1,037 tons of gold, respectively. Meanwhile, gold up 15% year to date, 85% over the last 5 years. Gold is back and stronger than ever. Are you long-term bullish on gold, blood? Gold is, wow, look at that chart right there. That chart right there. Very, very, very telling.
I just feel like, time is money, right? So I think you can get so much more out of the digital assets. I mean, you can have some for sure. You should possibly. But the whole narrative of if power goes out, then what can you do with your crypto? Well, you can't do shit with your gold either.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Do you follow the Mind Your Biz? The precious metals of the future will be brass and
you talking about
brass?
Copper.
Brass and copper. That's
lead.
What it is. Yeah. He says, it's not going to be gold or silver. It's going to be brass and copper.
No, I agree. I don't think, food, shelter, guns, ammo.
Yeah.
In a scenario like that, when you're blacked out, gold is not going to help.
I've heard you can make a situation pretty awkward if you go up to a prepper and then you ask them about what kind of brass and copper they're holding on to. If they say none, you just give them the answer, oh, well, I'm going to take all your stuff, and just see how they kind of, wait a minute. You're going to take all my cans of chicken there. That doesn't sound good. I want my spam.
You've seen the YouTube guy years ago. He got pretty viral with, he would go up to random people with a bar of gold, like an ounce.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's perception of value of gold is way off. So I think it's going to be the same thing. If you have an issue where you have to barter with gold, you're going to, it's going to be.
Be in like New York and walk up to people and be like, "Here, hey, take an ounce of gold."
Or a Snickers bar.
And they'd all be scared. They'd be like, no. And it'd take them like 20, 30, sometimes 100 people to finally get a gold bar to. And they just made $1,800 at it.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's fine, because we have the government. They're protecting us. We're no longer tied to the dollar, but there's this giant entity, this giant organization, and they're built and created to protect consumer interests. The
Lizzo.
Securities Exchange Commission. No, not Lizzo. Someone needs to protect her from her backup dancers, is what I hear. But no, Mark Cuban is blasting the SEC, who says they have not protected a single investor against fraud. So in a new message on X, Mark Cuban, the outspoken owner of the Dallas Mavericks, he said Gary Gensler's tough stance against the crypto industry may cost Joe Biden the election in November
Joe
this
Biden
year.
sucks.
Is that really the thing that's going to cost him the election?
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Nick.
I knew it was something.
It was something. Right.
It was the leg hair comment for me. Kids and the leg hair. That was my final straw.
I want to see it, chat. I mean, hey, put some W's if you think there's W's, but I wanted to see how many, just put L's in the chat if you agree. Has the SEC failed us? And has this administration failed us in the crypto industry? Right. I want to see how many of you guys actually disagree with that statement, because seriously, moving into this voting election, guys, check out what they're doing. You have the other chart, right? I really wanted to talk about this. With only a fool would vote on crypto alone.
This is insane.
They're trying to push this perspective that we're just one reason voters, which is an actual issue in a state. A lot of people, whether it's for education or for abortion or for whatever, policies out there. But for me, crypto is like our entire economy. It's not just one reason. It's like, no, there's 100 different reasons, from real estate to budget deficits to everything the government has done wrong, to sending hundreds of billions of dollars in tax-paying money across the seas. That transparency is what is needed, and we need to bring that back, because there is zero trust in these corporations, our lobbyists, our politicians, and our government at this point. So to me, it's like saying like, oh, it's like only a fool would vote on crypto alone. It's like, well, no, you're voting on freedom, you're voting on transparency, you're voting on trust, you're voting on budgeting. Like, there's so much more to that.
Accountability. Accountability.
Yeah. Where like if you go, well, it's just, I mean, the clear one, like abortion, like that's one issue.
I honestly,
right?
I don't begrudge single issue voters. I think there's nothing wrong with being a single issue voter. There's a lot of different people have a lot of different single issues that really, really matter to them. And I wouldn't begrudge anybody. I haven't walked a mile in their shoes. So, if someone wants to place this above everything else, who am I to judge them?
I agree. And my point was, though, I wanted to make sure that they're still like they're putting us off as a one reason.
Oh
voter,
yeah,
but I'm like, it's an umbrella.
Who the hell is Molly Jane Zuckerman and Jeff
I'm looking
Albus?
this up.
Yeah, I saw that too. It took two people to come up with this one.
Yeah. It's like advisor at BlackRock,
sponsored by World Economic Forum and BlackRock. Like what's going on here? Only a fool would vote on crypto alone. They want to manufacture. They want to tell you what matters to you. And tell you, they want to assign the opinion to you, like, this is the most important thing. And then, they give me the two clear-cut choices, and I know what line to follow. I know what arrows to follow.
Girl.
They don't want you thinking independently.
Oh,
this
no.
Chick, she is from, by the way, led educational content at CoinMarketCap and ran the news desk at Cointelegraph.
Is she the intern?
I don't know what she's doing. Molly Jane is now based in New York after almost a decade in Russia. I'm very interested in this because she's coming out and saying Americans should not prioritize their own selfish financial interests. No, fuck you. Like, do you know what's going on in second and third world countries? Like, there's all of the not even memes. It's like taking the gala right now, putting the Hunger Games over it with like District 1 versus District 12. This is a real thing. Like, now everybody that's now just getting mad and blocking these influencers for that, I think that's absolutely ridiculous. This has been happening for the last 100 forever. This goes back time and time again. Like, there's people that are starving in Ethiopia that nobody's talking about. But on your TikTok, they're like, oh, we got to talk about, Palestine. We got to talk about Ukraine. There's so much more happening in the world. And she's coming out here and saying Americans should not prioritize their own selfish financial interests. When the reason why we're in crypto is because of others' financial interests. Like, we're literally like second and third world countries. We want to break away from the World Economic Forum, from the World Bank, from the financial debt and these sharks these loan sharks, which is America. I don't know. I'm just actually pissed off at this entire thing.
And meanwhile, what are the elites doing? The elites are buying more and more Bitcoin through the ETF here. We've seen institutions are starting to build positions in Bitcoin. That means we're getting into the next phase of adoption. Institutions and governments. If institutions and governments were hodling Bitcoin, stacking Bitcoin, what do you think they would say publicly why they're buying Bitcoin in the background? Oh, they're going to FUD it. They're going to tell you how terrible it is. They're going to tell you it's rat poison. They're going to say it's fine that your Big Mac is translucent. You have translucent Big Macs, but it's fine. Nothing to see here. Everything is fine. The house is burning down around you. Let's see here. Bitcoin. I don't know what this video is. This is from this person. I'm not even going to say their name out loud. Jesus. This is retweeted by Naive. How about that?
He's great.
Retweeted by Naive.
Oh, hey, sorry. What do you do for a living?
I trade in crypto, man.
Oh, amazing. Cool. Have a great day.
Oh, that's funny.
That's so true.
Have a great day.
Hey, at least it's electric.
That's funny.
And yeah, great. One of the best rap beats there.
And we're demonetized.
Crypto Musa $2 super chat here. Is Arculus not legit? It's very legit. I don't even know where you're getting that from.
Yeah, very legit.
Yeah, dude. Arculus it's 3-factor authentified. It's launched by a publicly traded company, CompoSecure, which is straight up responsible for developing like all of the security in billions and billions of your metal credit cards that you've seen. And have never had a single hack on their end. So it is by far secure. It's by far regulated. It's by far one of the greatest products on the entire market there. If anybody just argues against that, I mean, I don't know. They should probably... I'll hold myself from
Eric Carlson in the chat. Big shout out, Eric.
I'm this close to snapping, I'm this close.
Just do it.
Just have your Jim Cramer moment, man.
No, because No.
They're all idiots.
No.
They're all idiots.
They're all
GameStop?
idiots. They're all idiots. Yeah. No.
Plus, we got GameStop. You can do a whole rant about Roaring Kitty too.
All I gotta say is, if you are hearing something about Oculus, consider the source.
Yeah.
Consider the source.
Eric Carlson, no such thing as second world country after the fall of the USSR. You could say BRICS versus G7. Interesting take there. Yeah, I would say there's definitely a NATO BRICS situation happening at the moment. And that's Stalin. Bad guy, right? What a bad guy.
Look,
Crypto Moose said, someone said it's not.
All I'm going to say is the founders of Arcus, guys, they're not people that have been in jail 4 times. They're not people that have left their family. They're not people that have, launched 3 failed year of crypto projects. It's a real project.
Oh, wait, is there a certain coin not on there?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd piss me off. I'd be pissed if I spent $1 million on it. Chainlink, if I wasted $1 million, that wasn't mine. Chainlink integrating new services for 6 blockchains, everybody. Are we bullish on Chainlink? Chainlink, literally the last coin that I DCA'd into. You can still get it for $13 and some change. Does not stop growing its influence as a data source here. So let's see. Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, Big, BNB, Ethereum, and Polygon. So 12 integrations. So the new ones, Abyss World, Index Coop, Linder, Linear, RD, Robo Hero, Stability DAO, Sumer, True. Oh, that's a big one right there. So they got Trueflation. That's probably the hottest of the new ones right there. A lot of people talking about this coin.
That's big.
Yeah, I'm pretty bullish on that coin as well. Octa is what Render. All right, so Johnny found this. Octa is what Render wants to be and much more. And with all that, with the market cap under 50 million. And we found this graphic that is just shots fired at Blender. Definitely shots fired at Blender. Working product.
Wow.
Look at that. Blender, no shots. Render, saying Render's, not checking a lot of boxes. Clore, which Nick has been talking about for a while. But Nick, have you had Octaspace on your radar? Are you mining it?
Yes.
How long have you been mining it for?
I actually spec mined it last year for about a month and a half. So,
Okay. So still sitting on the bag?
I have not taken any mining profits in 2 years.
Okay, bullish.
So Octaspace is a really good project. We actually brought it up at the end of last week. You need to be watching Octaspace.
I love how they just trashed on Blender. I'm still going to talk about this on chat because they compare themselves to Render, Clore, Akash, Obscure, and of course Blender here. Now, surprisingly, Clore is the second best that would seem to me on this list with Render, which we've traded Clore. We traded from 10 cents to 40 cents, got out at the top. Beautiful trade. Render as well.
Yep.
So seeing this come out, because Blender has been a project a lot of people have asked on, and it says working product number 1. No, doesn't even exist. Decentralized infrastructure. No. Marketplace. No, like it just read across the board. So I don't know if their team has an issue with Blender, but they just flatline.
Oh wow, look at this chart. Nick, why does this chart for Octa this isn't Octomom meme coin. This is Octaspace. Why does the chart look like this?
Because they're actually releasing products and updates and things that work.
So it's hype cycles.
If you go to their
new hype
website,
cycle. Boom, new hype cycle. Okay.
Go to Octa.
That's a clean looking chart, though.
That's their website.
Go to their website.
Octa.space.
Yeah, got it right here.
It's and you scroll down, you'll see their render tech and how it's actually showing here's their working product if you need something GPU and CPU rendered. They actually started out. So these are their projects being rendered for Coca-Cola, Bungie, Rococo, Destiny 2. This is how they started though with the VPN. They have a decentralized VPN. That's how they got started. And they also have on-chain storage. So Octa does a lot.
Okay. So smart nerds behind that one for sure.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go buy a bag right now.
Yeah, definitely bullish. But with bearish sentiment high, we're just looking at the fear and greed. Maybe getting back into green. The markets have continued to slip over the past week. Overall, the market has dropped 3.6%. Volume 27% lower than the previous week. But we do got a couple coins keeping people hopeful. And this is from yesterday.
Ton, baby, ton.
All right, so you like Ton coin?
Man, big time.
Is it because of Telegram's network effect?
Of course.
That's why you're bullish. Of course. That is probably to me the huge, most bullish thing for sure.
Telegram is doing a lot. They're about to monetize the rooms.
Oh, really?
Yes. There's a lot going on. You guys need to check out Ton.
All right. A ton going on with that one.
A ton going on. There
we got a layer 3 degen chain and is stopped producing blocks for 11 hours. So we don't know what's going to happen from this. Is this going to be a Solana situation where investors just do not care, or is this going to, really take down the chain here? So we don't know. So despite issues, showing resilience and high transactions per second there. So it did stop transactions for 11 hours. A lot of people upset about that one. Now I want to go back to the charts. What is Bitcoin doing at the moment, everybody? Let's go to do you like the 25-minute chart, Blood?
I have not looked
You mess
at
with
that
the 25.
one. No.
I like the 24.
I do the 13-minute.
Ooh, I like that. I like
Yep,
that. I do
13
the
minute.
12. 13. All right.
13.
All right. 13 is where it's at, eh? All right. So Bitcoin at the moment still just kind of trading sideways. Its big pump started around 1 a.m. Yeah. So 1 a.m., this thing went on a tear, Eastern Standard Time, got as high as, let's really stretch this out. I want to get the dollar amount. Got as high as 63,000 right at 300. So 63.3 right now, currently trading 63 even by like $3.69, $6. So the bulls and the bears currently fighting for the $63,000 level.
Wow, look at
you
that.
can see rejecting off 63K, rejecting off 63K. Can we turn 63K into
That's
support?
crazy.
Look, lower or higher lows.
Yeah.
Higher lows. Good.
Yeah,
Looks good.
setting him a nice little. So as a scalp, now we're not saying bet the farm here, but if you did miss this trade, just try to get a good entry point. Don't just jump in long at the top of a little channel, everybody. So I would maybe wait a bit. And I wonder if this has any convergence to some other stuff. That's the more you see it touching, the stronger your support, stronger your resistance here. So nice little trading channel, and a lot of people doing pretty well. How are we on my trade right now? We're getting to the top here.
Just broke 63,000.
Few $100 to the upside. I could be really aggressive with my profit taking here. I don't want to get wicked out, so I'm gonna come in a little bit below this area. Now, Blood, do you have a profit taking strategy when you move your stop loss? I go by feel mostly. Is that bad? Is that good? I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah,
it seems
horrible. That's horrible, DZ. That's absolutely horrible.
It's been doing quite well live on stream. Like I've been missing some wicks by pennies. It feels like sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
I hide my stop losses behind the last two to the left, two to the right is what I call it. Your
so you would come in
areas,
right below this one or right below this one?
That one where you are.
Would you go below the bodies or below the wick?
Below the wick.
Below the wick.
Yep.
You know what? I'm gonna just go a little bit more
right
aggressive.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little more aggressive.
Yep.
All right.
That's
and
what
now we just
do.
got guaranteed green. There's probably
Guaranteed.
280, 270, something like that in profit right there. So making sure we make a couple steak dinners, everybody. This is Blofin. We got a link down below. Let's read a couple chats thing. Bullish on TrueFi. You just said you're bullish on TrueFi. You're bullish on TrueFi as well? Trueflation?
For Trueflation, I'm kind of bullish on it. I haven't made a decision of actually getting into it because from my research, I've looked into it. They have a pretty huge KOL basis. And so I want to know I need to do more research into the tokenomics and see what the sell-off periods would look like, because the one thing I know influencers are going to do is every single time they get their tokens is just completely dump on their audience. So we are seeing this though, when you look at it, right, it is pulling back. So there might be a good entry point here on Trueflation, and it's been out for over a month, which means that first cliff probably has existed, but I need to do more research and actually get those exact numbers and dates for that sell-off period, whether it's going to be a 3-month cliff or what's the vested schedule for the KOLs early on. But past that, early market cap, and it's bullish. It's really bullish in the Chainlink community right now, especially as an RWA play. Also, if you guys haven't seen it, I mean, they do a lot. I think, Nick, were you talking to me with this with the decentralized infrastructure? It's like a DePIN RWA category, backed by Balaji and Coinbase. And even Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, has talked about this project. So they're pretty backed.
Yeah.
And they have this really cool Trueflation aggregation product here. Actually, think you can click on it through, here you go, where it's like the true inflation rate here.
Yeah.
But
that looks about right.
Yeah. Which is, it's pretty cool to watch. So there's a lot of really cool tools. And what I'm really bullish on is the API side of things. So when these products actually launch, how good's the code? How important is the underlying information that's being given? Because that's what's going to be bought up by institutional clients and retailer in the future. So I think there's a pretty good play here with their AI predictions platform, DePIN, and everything.
All right.
So I'm watching it, but I have not bought any yet. And again, I need to do research into the sell-offs first.
All right, let's look at Doge because Doge is pumping as well. Doge is one of the biggest gainers of the day here. Now, Blood, I believe you're pretty bullish on Doge, and I wanted to point something out here. We pause at this level right around 15 cents, and if we go back, you can see that's exactly where it traded last time as a little bit of a value area. And if we zoom out, you can see 15 cents. It loves this 15-cent level. But the next level after that, we get, here, let's go to the 4 hour, kind of get a little bit more data here, around 16 cents, 20 cents also, loves that 20 cents. And then you go to the weekly chart, almost looks bearish. I don't know. I can see, we got a little bull flag, don't we? Yeah, we got a little bit of a bullish chart starting to form.
Let me ask you this, DZ.
Yes.
What logo did they replace the Twitter logo with a few months ago?
The X, correct? They replaced the bird.
No, they put the Dogecoin up there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. When they had the Doge logo for a short period.
It's a layup, ladies and gentlemen.
Doge is a layup.
It's a layup. He's going to integrate it. Of course, other cryptos will be integrated with within the X platform, but Doge, bro.
I actually lied. I said Chainlink was the last thing I DCA'd. I pulled open Robinhood today just because of the GameStop news. I had $80, just kind of, I don't want to say dust, but you sell, sometimes I sold some stocks. I just had the remainder of a stock. I just put the $80 into Doge, probably already up. Doge is at 15 cents.
It'll be $1. It'll be $1 on the next run.
So you do think it passed 69 cents? That's where it stopped out last time. You see it right
69
there.
Is a very...
Almost 80, yeah. 74.
Great number. Yeah, 69. Yeah, it's going to $1.
All right, Nick,
easily.
Can Doge go to $1? Chat, will it go to $1? Josh, will it go to $1? I think it stops around the 90-something cent range.
Okay. That's $1.
I would say we're going to retest all-time highs. I would like to see it break $1, but I don't know. My biggest concern with this bull run coming up is there's going to be so much liquidity entering. There's so many more tokens and meme coins in development now with like Runes Protocol 2. You have Dog now, a part of the Bitcoin ecosystem. My biggest worry is like, we're going to get to these ranges, and if Doge is at 69 cents, the rest of the market has seen like 50x's, 100. There's been massive gains because Doge is such a large market cap.
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
There's been so much liquidity. So my biggest thing is like, maybe it can get to that $1. I really hope people start telling themselves and learn how to take profits this time around when we do even hit 50 cents or 60 cents, because it's like by the time we get to those zones, I don't know if it will be a week where we get this blow off top, which very well could happen, right? That is where the most people get wrecked. And then they're just going to be stuck being bag holders again. And chat, let me know how many of you have been stuck holding the bag once in your crypto cycle. Just put one in chat if you have. Two
You're lying if you haven't.
Like we all have done it, right? So my biggest concern is like if Bitcoin's at $95,000, that's only a 30% really move from where we're at, or what is that, 50% to 50% from where we're at today on Bitcoin's price. The amount of liquidity entering this market, there's gonna be so much money, and I want people to take profits this time. And just, they deserve it. They absolutely deserve it here. What is Coochie, though? Why are we all talking about Coochie?
It's his shirt.
What is Coochie?
Oh, do you have Coochie on today?
I got Coochie on. Oh, Lord.
I didn't even see that, man.
Coochie, man. Go check out Coochie. Coochie.wtf.
I did see something in the charts for Doge. While Josh was talking, I was like, wait a minute, does that kind of match up? And it does kind of match up. This is catching the bottom of the run up in early 2021.
Yeah.
Kind of hit that wick right there, kind of rejected. So I wouldn't be surprised. Look at that, 25 cents. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of action around 25 cents.
Yeah.
Turn that into support and then use it as
like
a
just imagine Bitcoin goes past all-time highs again. Yeah, you're gonna see Dogecoin go
so
past
you feel
25
like
cents.
June is altcoin season for us, right? We got
June is crypto season.
Woo, I like that, folks.
June is crypto season.
Well, right now, 'tis the season to hit that like button, folks. I want to give a big shout out to Crypto Blood. We're going to put his link down below. Make sure you follow his content, follow his YouTube channel, follow his Blood-alytics. He's putting out really, really good stuff in the charts. Thank you for joining. I'm going to do a live stream on Doge later. I found some things in the charts I want to share with you folks. Josh, can you give a sneak peek of what you're talking about at 4?
4 o'clock, we'll be covering liquidations. We're going to be going over our beautiful FOMO Mode tool here, guys. We're going to be going over, what's the next opportunity.
Breaking down a new tool.
We have to, because as Bitcoin breaks out, there's tons of opportunity out there. And the liquidations, guys, they are primed for, some more upside here. Testing that $63,000 level. I will be breaking all this down live at 4 o'clock and talking probably about Trueflation and a few of these other projects that I've been researching. There's another one called Moonwell, CDX. Like I'm going to be looking into the the tokenomics part, right? Like where are those dollar cost average entry points?
Nice.
And that's the next move here because I do believe we're about to see that.
All right. Well, it's going to be a tool time later, folks.
Whoa.